I thought I would pop on here really quick and give you a book recommendation, and then I'll be on my way. How does that sound? The book is written by John C. Maxwell. Wonderful writer. You've probably read a book or two of his on leadership, and he does a great job. He actually writes children's books too, but I'm not going to get into that. And actually, he writes my favorite children's book of all time. Moving right along. The book that I'm talking about today is called Running with the Giants. Such a great book. In fact, I would like to do another study on it someday with a group of people. And actually, I've done it before. Very well received. So if you can imagine the storyline here, it's an allegory. And it's about a man who is running multiple laps around a track and field track. You know, like in junior high or high school, you used to run around for gym class. And the stadium around this is just filled with people, and they're cheering him on, running this race. Instead of just normal, innocent bystanders here, there are actually people in the stands that are from the Bible. So you see Moses, you see Elijah, Elisha, you see all these people, Paul, so on and so forth. And they're the ones that are actually in the stadium cheering this man on to run around and run the race. So this race that this man is running is really meant to symbolize his entire life. And the people in the stand are what we call the great cloud of witnesses. What we see in this particular story is very interesting. Every chapter, there's someone that comes from the stands, a biblical figure, and runs with the man. And while they're running together, this biblical figure is teaching them a particular lesson from their own life. So maybe Paul is writing about what it means to be a new creation, Moses talking about perseverance and leadership and all of those kind of things. You can imagine how great this book would be learning directly from the people who lived it. I would argue that we're one of those people that live our life on a regular basis, and we make mistakes, and we have successes and celebrations, and we go through our rituals and routines. And if we are not concerned with the legacy that we leave, then we probably don't really live the full life that God has asked us to live. The fact is, each one of us is here for about 100 years, whatever plus or minus it might be. But who are we pouring into? What are we teaching the people around us about the way that we live and about the way that life should be lived? Obviously, we make mistakes. Obviously, we stub our toes and all of those kind of things. But what are we teaching through our life? Hebrews 12:1 says this, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." When I read this passage, I thought back to that book. If you're in the stands today and you're cheering someone else on, what would you like to teach them about life, about how it works, and about how it's best lived in Christ? It's an interesting question, right? Because sometimes we think of life in a very passive way. God, do things for me, change this circumstance for me, make it so I don't have to go through X, Y, and Z, so on and so forth. But we live this life in community, if you think about it. So that's my thought. That's my thought process for today. How are you going to live life with legacy in mind? Who are you going to teach? Who are you going to pour into? Have a great day.